The galaxy was a big place. Thousands of species lived among the stars. They traded with each other. They talked with each other. They formed a group called the Galactic Coalition to keep peace. But there was one planet that made everyone nervous. Earth. Earth was what scientists called a Class 12 death world. This meant almost everything on the planet could kill you. The weather could kill you. The animals could kill you. Even the tiny creatures you could not see could kill you. The plants were poison. The water had monsters. The land shook and broke apart. And somehow, humans had survived all of this. Not just survived. They became the top hunters on their world. They chased animals until the animals died from being too tired. They made fire. They made weapons. They made machines that could fly to the stars. The other species in the galaxy did not know what to think about humans. Humans smiled all the time, which showed their teeth. They kept dangerous animals in their homes and called them pets. They drank a poison called coffee every morning and said it made them feel good. Humans were strange. Humans were scary, but humans were also very helpful. When they joined the coalition 5 years ago, they started helping everyone with everything. They fixed ships. They gave food to hungry planets. They sent doctors to sick worlds. It was confusing. Una worked at Coalition Station Harmony 7. She was in charge of communications. Every day, she listened to messages from across the galaxy. Most were boring. Trade reports, weather updates, ship schedules. But today was different. The message came from the Velen homeworld. The Velens were a gentle species. They had 4 arms and blue skin like flower petals. They made beautiful cloth and grew amazing food. Everyone in the coalition loved them because they were so kind and peaceful. The message was a distress signal. An SOS. Yuna played it. The voice was shaking with fear. Please help us. They came from the sky. They are burning our cities. They are taking our people. Please, anyone, help us. Una's hands were shaking too. She checked the data. 27 warships were in orbit around the Velen homeworld. The ships belonged to the Krath Dominion. Everyone knew about the Krath. They were slavers. They went to peaceful worlds and took people to sell. They stripped planets of everything valuable and left nothing behind. The coalition had tried to stop them many times but failed, and now they were attacking the VLNS. Yuna sent the message to Coalition Command right away. Then she sent it to the humans. Admiral Do-hyun received the message 3 minutes later. He was on his ship, the SS Hammer of Soul. It was a big warship, one of the best Earth had ever made. Do-hyun was an older man with gray hair at his temples. He had been a soldier for 30 years. He had seen many terrible things. His tactical officer was a young woman named Ji-woo. She put the Velen system on the big screen. Do-hyun could see everything. The craft ships in orbit. The fires burning on the planet below. The numbers showing how many Velens had already died. Hundreds of thousands. In just a few hours. Sir, Ji-woo said, Coalition Command is asking us to send medical ships. They want us to help with evacuation. Do-hyun stared at the screen. He watched a craft ship fire on a Velen city. Medical ships, he said slowly. Yes, sir. They are calling it a humanitarian mission. Do-hyun was quiet for a long moment. His crew watched him. They knew that look on his face. It was the look he got before battle. Get me Captain Taiwan of the Incheon, Do-hyun said, and Captain Soman of the Bizan. Ji-woo nodded and made the calls. While she worked, Do-hyun walked to the front of the bridge. He looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, innocent people were dying. Children were being put in chains. Families were being torn apart. The coalition wanted to send bandages. Taiwan and Soman appeared on the screen. Taiwan was a young captain, fast and smart. Soman was older, calm and steady. They both commanded powerful warships. "You have seen the message from Vila," Do-hyun said. It was not a question. "Yes, Admiral," they both replied. "The coalition wants us to provide medical support. Evacuation assistance." Do-hyun's voice was hard like iron. "I have a different idea." He turned to face his crew. Every person on the bridge was watching him. He could see the anger in their eyes. Humans did not like seeing innocent people hurt. It made something dark wake up inside them. "We are not going to Vela to help," Do-hyun said. "We are going to Vela to hunt." The bridge was silent. Then, slowly, his crew began to smile. It was not a nice smile. It was the kind of smile that showed teeth. "Prepare for jump," Do-hyun ordered. "All weapons ready. All Marines on standby." He looked at the image of the burning Velen world one more time. The Krath wanted to pick on the weak. Let us show them what happens when the strong answer. 3 human warships turned toward the Velen system. Their engines glowed bright. The crews made ready for war. The Krath had no idea what was coming. They were about to learn why humans were called Deathworlders. They were about to learn that there are worse things in the galaxy than slavers and killers. There were humans, and humans were angry. The Krath had been taking Velens for 6 hours. Their ships hung in orbit like hungry monsters. Shuttles flew down to the planet and came back full of slaves. It was easy work. The Velens could not fight back. They had no weapons. They only knew how to farm and make cloth. Warlord Dex stood on the bridge of his command ship, the Endless Hunger. He was a big creature with hard shell skin and 6 eyes. His mouth had sharp parts that clicked when he was happy. Right now, he was very happy. This raid would make him rich. Velen slaves sold for good prices. They were gentle and did not cause trouble. The cloth they made was worth a lot of money. "How many have we taken?" Dex asked his officer. 40,000 so far, Warlord. We expect 100,000 by morning." Dex clicked his mouth in pleasure. Yes, this was a good day. Then the alarm went off. 3 ships coming out of hyperspace, an officer shouted. Dex watched the screen. 3 small ships appeared near his fleet. Very small compared to his 27 warships. Who were they? Human ships, Warlord. Earth Systems Navy. Dex made a sound like laughter. Humans. The Coalition knew pets. He had heard stories about humans. They came from a dangerous world. They were tough and hard to kill. But they were also friendly and helpful. He was not worried. "Tell them to leave," Dex ordered. "Or we will destroy them." The message was sent. Dex waited for the humans to run away. They did not run. Instead, the lead ship started moving. It flew straight at the Krath fleet. Not in a smart way. Not trying to avoid the big ships. Just straight ahead. Dex watched with confusion. What are they doing? They are attacking, Warlord. 3 ships against 27? Are they stupid? His officers did not answer. They were too busy watching the human ship come closer and closer. On the bridge of the Hammer of Soul, Admiral Do-hyun stood calm and steady. Krath weapons fire lit up the space around them. The ship shook as energy hit the shields. "Shields holding, Admiral," said Lieutenant Unji from her station. "They are shooting at our engines." "They want to capture us," Do-hyun said. "Slavers always want more things to sell." He looked at his crew. "They think we are prey. Let us teach them different." He turned to Minho, the communications officer. "Open a channel. All ships. I want everyone to hear this." Minho worked fast. "Channel open, sir." Do-hyun stepped forward. His voice was cold and hard when he spoke. "Krath Dominion vessels. This is Admiral Do-hyun of the Earth Systems Navy. You have attacked a peaceful species. You have killed innocent people. You have taken slaves." He paused. Every Krath ship could hear him. Every Velen hiding in the ruins below could hear him. Everyone was listening. "We are not here to rescue the Velans. We are here to make sure you never do this again. To anyone, ever." On the endless hunger, Warlord Dex felt something strange. A cold feeling in his stomach. He had not felt this way in many years. It was fear, but that was silly. He had 27 ships. The humans had 3. The numbers were clear. Doyun's voice came through again. "You have 30 seconds to surrender. If you do not, we will show you what happens when you make enemies of Deathworlders." Dex found his courage again. "Kill them," he ordered. "Kill them all." Every Krath ship opened fire on the 3 human vessels. On the Hammer of Soul, Admiral Dohyun smiled. It was a cold smile. A dangerous smile. The kind of smile that predators make before they attack. "All ships," he said. "Weapons free." The battle began. Captain Taiwan on the Inchin moved first. His ship was small but fast. It dove under the Krath fire and came up behind 2 enemy vessels. His weapons hit them before they could turn around. Captain Soman on the Bison took a different path. Her ship went straight into the middle of the Krath formation. It was crazy. It should not work. But her crew was very good, and her ship was tough. The Hammer of Soul led the attack from the front. It took hit after hit but kept coming. Human shields were strong. Human armor was thick. Human crews did not give up. Dex watched in shock as one of his ships exploded. Then another. Then 2 more. "How is this possible?" he shouted. There were only 3 of them. But the humans did not fight like normal ships. They moved in ways that were hard to predict. They attacked weak spots that the Krath did not know they had. They did not stay safe in the back. They came in close where the fighting was hardest. On the planet below, the Volans could see bright lights in the sky. The humans were fighting for them. These strange creatures from a death planet had come to help. No, not to help. To fight. To hurt the ones who had hurt them. An old Velen watched from a broken building. Tears ran down his blue face. Not tears of sadness. Tears of hope. In space, the battle was just beginning. But already, the Krath knew they had made a terrible mistake. They had attacked the weak, and the strong had come. Captain Taiwan had played video games before joining the Navy. He was very good at them. His hands moved fast. His mind worked faster. Now he used those same skills to fight real battles. The Inchin flew through the Krath formation like a knife through water. Enemy ships tried to hit them, but Taiwan was too quick. Turn left. Full power to engines. Now roll right. His crew obeyed without question. The ship spun and dodged. Krath weapons missed by inches. And all the time, the Inchin's own guns kept firing. Another Krath ship went dark. Its engines were dead. It floated in space like a broken toy. "Good hit," Taiwan shouted. "Find the next target." On the Bison, Captain Soman had a different style. She did not dodge and dance. She went straight in and hit hard. Her ship's armor was thick. Her weapons were powerful. She used her ship like a hammer. "Ram that carrier," she ordered. Her crew looked at her with wide eyes. Ram a ship? That was crazy. That was something from old Earth movies. "Nobody did that anymore, Captain," her first officer asked. "You heard me. Ram it. Hit the hangar bay." Then launched the boarding teams. The Bison accelerated. It flew straight at the Krath carrier. The carrier tried to move away, but it was too big and too slow. The Bison hit it hard. The front of the human ship crashed through the carrier's side and into the hangar. Alarms went off everywhere. Metal screamed as it bent and broke. But the Bison's crew was ready. They wore their safety belts. They held on tight, and when the ship stopped moving, The doors opened. Human Marines ran out into the craft carrier. They wore heavy armor. They carried big guns. And they were very, very angry. On the planet below, another battle was happening. Sergeant Hygiene led her squad through the burning streets. 12 humans in powered armor against hundreds of craft soldiers. The odds were bad. Hygiene did not care about odds. GA, cover the left side. Sunwoo, get those people to safety. Everyone else follow me. Her rifle fired again and again. Each shot hit its target. Craft soldiers fell. They were bigger than humans. They had hard shell skin. But human weapons were designed for Deathworld creatures. They worked just fine on aliens. A group of Velans were hiding in a broken building. Craft soldiers were trying to get to them. Hygien's squad arrived first. The fight was short. The craft did not stand a chance. It is okay now, Hygiene said to the Velans. Her translator turned her words into their language. We are here to help. Come with us. A young Velan mother held her child close. She was shaking with fear. But she looked at the humans in their big armor, and she saw something in their eyes. Not cruelty. Not hunger. Just anger at those who hurt the innocent. She followed them. Private Dongwook was the squad medic. He found an old Velan who was hurt badly. The old one had burns on his arms and cuts on his face. Dongwook knelt beside him and started treating his wounds. Easy there, Dongwook said gently. You are going to be okay. The old Velan looked at him with confused eyes. Your admiral said you are not here to rescue us. Dongwook smiled while he worked. That is right. We are not here to rescue you. Rescue means you are helpless. You are not helpless. You are survivors. We are just here to hurt the people who hurt you. Very badly. The old Velan did not fully understand. But he felt safe. For the first time in hours, he felt safe. Back in space, the battle was turning into a disaster for the craft. Master, Sergeant Junho led his team through the corridors of the Endless Hunger. They had boarded the enemy command ship. Now they were fighting their way to the bridge. Junho kicked open a door. 3 craft warriors stood inside. They were each twice his size. Their shell skin was thick. Their claws were sharp. They raised their weapons. Junho moved faster. His hand-to-hand combat training took over. He did not think. He just acted. His body knew what to do. Punch here. Kick there. Dodge this. Strike that. 20 seconds later, all 3 craft were on the ground. They were not moving. Private Yanjin came through the door behind him. She looked at the fallen enemies with shock. Sergeant, how did you do that? Junho did not stop walking. I am from a death world. I am trained to fight. And right now, I am very angry. Yanjin followed him, stepping over the bodies. On the bridge of the Hammer of Soul, Admiral Dahyun watched the battle. His face showed no emotion, but inside he felt pride. His people were fighting hard. They were fighting well. They were showing the galaxy what humans could do. Admiral, Jiwoo reported. 12 craft ships destroyed. 8 disabled. 4 retreating. 3 surrendering. 27 ships had attacked the Velans. Now only a few were left. Dahyun nodded slowly. Tell Captain Soman her boarding team has permission to take the enemy flagship. I want Warlord Dex alive. The order was sent. On the Endless Hunger, the human Marines pushed forward. The fury of Earth had come to Violet and the slavers were learning what that meant. Warlord Dex ran to his private room when the humans breached the bridge. His best warriors stayed behind to stop them. These were soldiers who had won 100 battles. They had killed thousands of enemies. They were the finest fighters the Krath Dominion had. They lasted 45 seconds. The door to Dex's room exploded inward. Smoke and fire filled the air. Through the chaos walked a human woman in scorched armor. Her helmet was cracked. Blood ran down her arm. But her eyes were clear and cold. Lieutenant Commander Hannah stopped in front of the warlord. In one hand she held a knife. In the other, a pistol. Behind her, more humans secured the room. Dex was a big creature, 3 meters tall. Hard shell skin, sharp claws, 6 eyes that had seen many enemies die. He looked at this small human female and felt true fear. "Warlord Dex," Hannah said. Her voice was calm, like she was talking about the weather. "By order of the Earth Systems Navy and the Galactic Coalition, you are under arrest. Your crimes are murder, slavery, and war against peaceful people." Dex tried to laugh. His mouth parts clicked, but the sound came out wrong. Too nervous. Too scared. "You think this means anything?" he said. "The Dominion has 1,000 ships. 100 planets. You won one little fight. Nothing more." Hannah put away her pistol. She walked toward him slowly. Each step was careful and controlled. The human woman was tiny compared to him. She should be afraid. She should be running away. She was not afraid. "You are right," Hannah said. She stopped directly in front of him and looked up. "This is just one battle. But here is something you do not understand about humans." She paused. The room was silent except for the sound of distant explosions. "We do not fight battles. We fight wars. And we do not stop until we win." Dex's 6 eyes blinked in confusion. "Your Dominion has 1,000 ships," Hannah continued. "We do not care. Your Dominion has 100 planets. We do not care. You hurt innocent people today. You made slaves of children. You burned cities full of families." Her voice got harder, colder. "Now we know who you are. Now we have a reason. And we will keep coming. We will find every Krath ship. We will free every slave. We will burn every slaver base. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually. We are patient, and we are very good at war." She waved her hand. Her soldiers grabbed Dex and started dragging him toward the door. "You will face trial," Hannah told him. "Every Velen who lost someone today will speak. Every world your people have stripped will send witnesses. When they find you guilty, you will go to prison on Earth." Dex's eyes went wide. "On your death world?" "Yes, a special prison in Australia." Hannah showed her teeth in what might have been a smile. "Do not worry. The spiders are only sometimes deadly." Dex did not know what spiders were, but from the way the humans smiled, he knew they were bad. Outside, in the space above Vela, the battle was over. Of 27 Krath ships, 3 had surrendered. The rest were broken pieces of metal floating in the dark. Human ships flew among the wreckage, looking for survivors to rescue and enemies to capture. Admiral Dalyun stood on his bridge. His ship had taken damage. There were burns on the walls and cracks in the floor. But the Hammer of Soul was still flying. His crew was still fighting. No, not fighting anymore. The fight was done. Now came the other work. Coalition medical ships arrived first. Then supply ships with food and water and medicine. Then construction ships to help rebuild. The humans had called for help, and help had come, but not human help. Humans were not good at rebuilding. They were not good at healing. Those were jobs for other species. Humans were good at making sure the hurting stopped. Communications. Officer Minho walked up to the Admiral. "Sir, Coalition Command wants to talk to you. They are asking about our methods. I am sure they are." Dalyun did not turn from the window. He watched shuttles fly down to the planet, carrying supplies and doctors. "They are calling it excessive force, sir." Dalyun was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. "Good. I want it to be excessive. I want every slaver in the galaxy to hear about what happened here. I want every warlord and pirate and criminal to know what excessive looks like. He finally turned to face Minho. We cannot be everywhere. We cannot save everyone. But we can make a promise. Anyone who hurts the innocent will face the same thing. Earth remembers. Earth responds. Earth does not forgive. Minho nodded slowly. He understood. On the planet's surface, the Velans were coming out of hiding. They looked at the sky where the craft ships used to be. They looked at the human soldiers helping the wounded. They looked at each other, and for the first time since the attack began, they allowed themselves to hope that the message had been sent, not just to the craft, to the whole galaxy. Do not hurt the innocent. Do not attack the peaceful. Do not think you can take slaves and burn cities without consequences. Because Earth was watching, and Earth was not kind to those who preyed on the weak. 3 months passed after the Battle of Veladot. The Galactic Coalition called a big meeting. Representatives from hundreds of species came together in a huge room. They were there to talk about one thing. Humans. Ambassador Jiho sat in Earth's seat. He was a calm man with patient eyes. He listened as speaker after speaker stood up to complain. Humans are too violent, said one alien. Humans do not follow rules, said another. Humans are dangerous and unpredictable, said a third. Jiho kept listening. He did not argue. He did not get angry. He just waited. Finally, the last speaker rose. It was a VELN. The room went quiet. Everyone knew what had happened to the Velans. Everyone had seen the images. The burning cities. The slave ships. The dead. This Velan was old. Very old. She walked with slow, careful steps. Scars from energy weapons marked her blue skin. She had been in the capital when the Krath came. She had lost her family. She had almost died. Her name was Bloom. Velans chose new names after terrible experiences to show they had changed. Bloom had chosen hers because she wanted to grow again after so much death. I have heard your words, Bloom said. Her voice was soft but clear. You worry about humans being violent. You worry about them acting without asking permission first. You worry about what they might do. She paused and looked around the room. Let me tell you what I worry about. The room was completely silent. I worry about my children. They were taken by the Krath. I do not know if they are alive. I worry about my neighbors. Half of them are dead. The other half cannot sleep at night because of the bad dreams. I worry about my planet. Our cities are broken. Our farms are burned. It will take years to rebuild. Tears ran down her blue face, but her voice stayed strong. When the Krath came, we called for help. The coalition sent a message of protest. Very polite. Very proper. Following all the rules. She paused again. The humans came with ships. Now she looked directly at Ambassador Jiho. You call them violent. You call them excessive. You call them dangerous. Her voice rose. Do you know what my people call them? Nobody answered. We call them hope. The room exploded with voices. Some aliens agreed with Bloom. Others argued against her. The noise was very loud, but Jiho did not really hear it. He was thinking about other things. About the messages that had come to Earth in the weeks after the battle, not complaints. Not warnings, requests. They came from small planets on the edge of coalition space. From species that lived in fear of the Krath and others like them. From worlds that had no big ships and no strong armies. If you ever hear our call for help, the messages said, please come. Please answer. Please show them your fury. The meeting ended without a clear decision. Some species supported humans. Others feared them. Most were confused. Outside the building, Jiho found Lieutenant Commander Hannah waiting for him. She had come back to Earth to report on the battle. but she was already thinking about the next fight. "How did it go?" she asked. "As expected. Lots of talking. Some anger. Some fear. A few species who understand what we did and why." "And the Velans?" Jiho smiled. "They have asked for human ships to stay in their system. They want us to help protect them. They also want us to teach their young ones how to fight." Hannah laughed. "The gentle flower people want to learn fighting? The Coalition will not like that. The Coalition will learn to deal with it." Jiho's face became serious. 14 new distress signals came while I was in the meeting. Pirates, wars, one species being wiped out by their neighbors. 14 calls for help, and we are going to answer them? Every single one. Jiho looked up at the sky. Night was coming. Stars were appearing, one by one. That is what humans do. Someone cries for help, and we come. Not because it is smart. Not because it is safe. Because it is right. Hannah nodded. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow. The Hammer of Soul is already being fixed and made ready. Admiral Doyen asked for you specifically. He said he needs someone who knows how to make an entrance." Hannah smiled. She remembered crashing through the door of Warlord Dex's room. Yes, she knew how to make an entrance. They walked toward the spaceport together. Around them, the city was getting ready for night. Lights came on in windows. Families sat down for dinner. Children played in the last of the daylight. Normal life. Peaceful life. This was what they fought to protect. This was why they traveled across the galaxy, to answer the calls of species they had never met. Because somewhere out there, other families wanted to have dinner together. Other children wanted to play. Other species wanted to live in peace without fear. And if someone tried to take that away from them, humans would come dot at the spaceport. A crowd had gathered. Valens mostly, but other aliens too. They watched Jiho and Hana walk past. Some waved. Some bowed. Some just stared. But none of them looked at the humans with fear. They looked at them with something else. Something that had not existed in the galaxy for a very long time. Faith that someone would come when they called. Faith that the strong would protect the weak. Faith that the universe was not only full of hunters and prey, but also of guardians. Hana noticed the crowd. They are watching us. Yes, Jiho said. They are watching. And hoping. For 10,000 years, the galaxy has learned to fear Deathworlders. Now they are learning what it means to have Deathworlders as friends. They reached the shuttle that would take them to the ships in orbit. Are we ready? Jiho asked. Hannah thought about the battles ahead. The enemies waiting. The innocents who needed help. The fury that burned in every human heart when they saw the weak being hurt. We are ready, she said. We have always been ready. They boarded the shuttle. The engine started. And they flew toward the stars. Toward the next fight. Toward the next call for help. Toward the endless work of proving that Deathworlders could be heroes too. The galaxy was a big place. Full of danger and fear. But now, it was also full of hope. Because Earth had answered. And Earth would always answer.